All right. Hey, how many of you have wondered, well, I know a lot of you have because you've emailed me about, Jim, what do you guys do when you go to a new lake? We're on one today. So we're going to show you, this is a small natural lake in southern Wisconsin, public access, and we're going to show you how to break it down and hopefully catch some more fish. I don't know what's going to happen today, but you'll find out when we do.
Like an engine pushing round the clock. 24/7 big city life just don't end. Well, every now and then I'd like to slow it down. Gonna pack up the camping gear and leave this town. No honking horns or cell phones, just my friends. And we'll go riding cross country in a four-wheel drive, top down.
Come here, get in here. Yeah. They're holding so tight. Ah, come here. And you're no kidding, you're upset. They're holding so tight on those docks. But, fat little guy. There's some beautiful looking fish in here. But they are eating a jig. And that one even took the claw off of that one. But so the quest continues. This segment of Jim Crowley Outdoors is brought to you by these and other fine sponsors. So since we're at a new lake today, there's a couple things that I start looking for when I get to a new body of water I've never been on before. This is a small natural lake in Wisconsin. That's what it is. And got it up on the map right here. And as soon as I got here, I noticed we had boat docks. So that's always something that's going to grab my attention. Especially there's a lot of boat docks here that are close to deep water. And when the summer as hot as we had, that's one thing I'm going to key on. I'm also looking for grass lines right now. But we haven't really been catching a lot on grass lines. Where we have been seeing fish is on the boat docks. Our biggest fish have come off boat docks. I've got some waypoint marked right here where they are. And now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go find other boat docks that match or come close to how I caught that fish. So right now we found bluegills and baitfish around those docks. Those docks have to be close to deep water and there has to be a little bit of wind on them. So we are slowly putting it together. Whenever you come to a new lake, if it makes you feel comfortable, remember to feel comfortable, realize what's happening that time of year, spring, summer, or fall. Now this is summer. So yes, fish are going to be on boat docks that are close to deep water and they're probably going to be on weed lines. So that's what I'm going to do. That helps me to focus on something, give me a goal to shoot toward, and then it's just pieces of puzzle putting together. If this was fall, late fall, or if it was spring, I'd be probably doing a little bit something different. Right now this seems to be working and the bites we're getting are good ones. So I'm going to keep with that. We are starting to figure this out. Look at this one here. We are starting to figure this out. I love it when a plan comes together. Yeah. That's why you learn to skip. Yes. That's why you learn to skip. Check out that boat dock right there. There's that pontoon. I skipped that underneath there. I worked it on that ledge, saw it pop over the ledge, and he came underneath there. Would have not got that fish if he didn't skip. That is a beautiful fish. Now it's coming together. Look at that beautiful fish. This segment of Jim Crowley Outdoors is brought to you by these and other fine sponsors. Come here. Yeah, nice. Man, they are fat in here. Look how they're eating that thing. Look how they're eating that thing. That is nice. That is nice. Oh, let me put this back. I want to tell you something here. Let me get off this boat dock here. We talked about it before. The last show that we did on jigs, I remember talking to you about it. But the more you learn to not only skip, but pitch, and get baits back underneath stuff. That came all the way back underneath a pontoon boat. And if you're not willing to make those casts sometimes, unfortunately you're just not going to get bit. Today is tough. It's tough. But we've had to go back over areas where you just have confidence in an area where you think there's going to be some fish in there. And we're going back over the areas and just soaking that jig and getting it as far back. The more that you practice your techniques when you're not on the water, in the off season, practice them. Just go out and just practice. If you're not good with a jig, just take a jig rod out in the boat with you. Don't bring your spinnerbait, don't bring your crankbait. Learn to do everything you can with that jig. The more you learn those techniques, the more deadly, the more proficient you become. That fish right there, was just flat out me getting down and trying to get that jig back as far as I could. Sometimes that's how you gotta fish. All right, so the equipment log today is pretty simple and straightforward. The fishing was tough today. So for me, when things get tough, I settle down, I pick up a jig, and I just thoroughly hit every piece of cover that I possibly can. Today, it was boat docks. Most of the fish had to be somewhere, they were close to deep water, that's what the boat docks were in, but the boat docks usually that we caught fish off were in about 3 to 5 foot of water. So the bait I was using, basically my signature series, flip and skip jig right here, and green pumpkin head, and the skirt is actually called Magic Craw. Every time I come to Wisconsin and Minnesota, this is a jig skirt that goes into my rotation. It just really works well up here. Now, simple as can be. Again, the Shield Swimming Craw and green pumpkin. I cut off, when fishing gets tough, I cut off a little bit of the craw, and I'm just going to show you what I do here. And I cut off about a 1/4 inch on there, and then I'm just going to slide that up there like so, just like that, over that bait keeper, and that is my jig. I wanted a jig today that actually I was hoping for a reaction bite, so I went with a 1/2 ounce. I went with a smaller craw. Those claws were going on the fall. Almost every fish we caught today hit it on the initial fall, and they had to be around boat docks close to deep water. Now I was throwing my jig rod that I always throw, and that's the American Tackle Bushido Blank. This is an MB73 12 to 25. Man, I've caught a lot of fish on this rod that I built this year. Now the line was really important today because there was a couple fish that literally got wrapped around the motor. That's how far back under the pontoon boats they were. I was using 17-pound Sufix Invisalign. That's a fluorocarbon. I've used that line for years. It's strong, it's abrasion resistant, and flat out when I need a line to get the job done, that's what does it. I absolutely love that line. So that was the equipment today. The biggest thing today was being persistent. And sometimes that's tough when you can be on a lake where you've never caught fish before, you don't know what's going on, but sometimes when your gut tells you, and that's what mine did today, because nothing was chasing baits. We didn't see any fish coming up after bait fish. We saw areas that had bait fish in it, nothing was chasing it, so I hunkered down, basically picked up a jig, and went to work. That's the equipment log for today. That's exactly what we did. Let's get back to the show. Oh man. Now that, oh, what a day we had today. Oh, there we go. Man, oh man, look at that one. What a way. That flip and skip jig right up underneath that motor, and he just nailed it. That is so cool. What a way to end the day. I'm gonna put this, here you go, come on. Get that girl out of there. Oh man, what a fish. I hope we showed you a little bit today about how to break down a new lake and what to look for. Everybody feels comfortable with different things. When you're breaking down a new lake, do your best to fish your strengths first, okay? Or just depending on the time of year, fish your strengths the best that you can, I should say. It was just a great day, and what a great way to end it. Thank you so much for watching. We're gonna be on the road somewhere, someplace next week, hopefully with another great adventure. Until then, I'm Jim Crowley. God bless you. We'll see you soon.